Overpriced houses sit and well-priced homes sell.
The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Knapik. Thank you for joining us here on show number 564. We're glad you joined us, and as always, simply go to stewart.com/radio in case you want to see and hear the show or go to past shows. It's simple. Just go to stewart.com/radio. So let's get down to business as we welcome, as you know, time to time, as a regular listener, you get to hear, and if you're on the YouTube channel, you get to see our guest and our team from Stewart Title. But today we're extra honored as we have not just business development people, but we have top management. That's right. Two of our great A++ team managers are here. We have Jennifer Shemidas. She is Houston's division president for Stewart Title. In addition, the sales manager of the North Houston division, Mike Snyder. Hey, guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. Glad to be here.
Good to be here.
Well, it's good to see you both and also to hear, because people want to know what's going on with Stewart Title. We're a household word, not just here in Houston, but beyond. And it's just great to hear from visionaries as you lead the team here in Houston, Texas. So, Jennifer, let's tell people about your role and what you're doing for Stewart Title.
So I'm a division president over North and Southwest Houston territory. I've been with Stewart for 32 years. It's seeing the historical, how Stewart's come from the past and where we're going in the future and trying to grow. So I manage 13 offices and spend a lot of time supporting those people. That's my whole job description.
The key there is it's people, right?
It's all about the people.
And 32 years, what longevity, what has kept you at Stewart Title for these many years? Because I'm sure along the way it could have been a time where you said, oh, someone else wants you to come here or there. What is it about Stewart that's special?
Stewart just has been around for 130 years. We're solid. We're a household name, like you said. I love the people I work with. I love the people I work for. I love the management that we're under right now. So it all comes back to the people.
And as far as keeping Stewart on the top, and you mentioned the people and business development people, we have escrow officers that you're overseeing. What is it about the keys that make these people do well in, let's say, the escrow officer role? Because a lot of people that close, whether they're at Stewart or elsewhere, we hear that escrow officer is kind of mysterious. So what are some of the things that are the keys to great escrow officers and then business development people?
So our escrow officers have to really care about the job. It's not for everybody, but it's also somebody's most important day. When you buy your first house or you sell your first house or you're transitioning to another location, you have to be there and you have to be businesslike and detail-oriented and take care of all those details that nobody cares about. But then you also have to be happy for them and care and celebrate this milestone in their life.
It is a big, and it's so great at the closing table when everything comes together. Yes. It's like a Swiss watch. I mean, all the
It is a lot of moving parts.
The different pieces. And when we talk about your longevity, 32 years, and our escrow team, we have people that are with the company 30 years plus and beyond, especially on the escrow team.
Yes, we have a lot of longevity. One of the things that I'm working on right now, though, is not forgetting that we need to bring the younger people in and train them up to replace these people when they get to the point where they want to retire. So my focus right now is bringing in younger people to grow with the business and learn from these people that have all that experience.
It's exciting, and some of our best days are ahead. I'm very excited as the humble radio host here for our show. And Mike Snyder, you don't quite have 32 years, but you're beginning your first of maybe beyond 32 years. Let's tell people about your role with the company.
Yeah, sure. So I'm 5 weeks in to my role as managing the sales team for the North Houston division. So my focus is primarily the sales reps and leading 6 reps across 8 offices. So it's great for me because I know the sales part. I've been doing that for a long time, been in title for 7 years. And then I have Jennifer to lean on, who's been doing the escrow part for for 30 plus years.
And when listeners are out there, certainly those that are in Houston that are familiar with the city, maybe they've been here a long time. And I think a lot of our listeners have also had the experience to close at Stewart Title through these many years. But when you say North Houston, Mike, give us an idea where that is and some of the offices that you're helping.
Sure. So the offices that I lead are Sugarland in Richmond, Katy, Fulshire, Memorial, Cypress, office on Kirby Grove and Kirby, and then up in Kingwood. So those are the offices I lead. We've got some other offices, kind of Magnolia, Tomball area, but I lead those 8 offices and the 6 reps there.
That's a lot. Again, a lot of people, and we do have fantastic people all the way around, and people here on the show as we talk to our business development people. And every once in a while, Jennifer, as you know, we'll have an escrow officer on, and it's always fun to hear their perspective. Mike, what are some of the things as far as sales? I mean, people that are listening, many of them certainly are in the sales world, but there's all in real estate, but also there are people that are in the selling profession in other things, whatever it may be. But give us an idea, as you have studied the sales process and know the mechanics of the sales process, and you could probably recognize pretty well when you talk to someone, hey, that could be a good salesperson for this or that. What are some of the basics that you look for when you assemble a team of salespeople?
Sure. So one of the things I'm really interested in is, do you have a willingness, and have you shown a willingness to master the industry? So I've worked in several different industries, and I've always tried to master each one. And so I came into title knowing nothing about real estate or title, but I tried to learn everything I could. And I want to know what I feel our customers should know, so that when I hear them mention something, I know what they're talking about, and I know how to incorporate that into the resources that Stewart offers. And that's one of the things I really look for in sales reps is, do you know this industry? On top of that, do you really know what your company does? Do you know what Stewart does? Do you know what resources we have? And do you know them backwards and forwards, so that if you're sitting in a radio show and you get a call that says, how do I work this tool you showed me about 4 months ago, I can do it without even looking. So those are a couple of things. The other thing I really look for is just, do you have a willingness? Do you have the guts? Do you have the discipline to follow a process and do all the things that you need to do to generate new business, which is what, as a salesperson, that's what we're here for, is to generate new business. And that's different than just having clients that you're taking care of. So I really focus on, do you have that desire? Do you follow the process to generate the new business and all the things that come with that?
And it's interesting. We were just talking about systems and procedures on last week's show. So whether you're flying a Boeing 747 or whether you're trying to attract new business, there is a process. And sometimes, I know in my own sales career, but we see it all the time, sometimes we make things more harder than they need to be.
We do. I mean, when you think about it, there's 3 things we have to do. It's create opportunities, advance them, and then close. And regardless of the industry that you're in, there are checklists for that, just like an airplane. Who am I calling today? Why am I calling that person? How did that person end up on my prospecting list or as a target? What homework did I do? How do I know what, probably because I know my industry and I know what's on their mind right now, how do I know what is top of mind for them? And how do I know what resources that I have are going to be able to solve a problem for them or make something more efficient for them, take something off their plate, and just add value to their business? And then setting up, hey, what am I going to do next? What does this lead to? What am I going to do next? And what's the end goal in mind?
Well, Jennifer, give us an idea. If turning the clock back 32 years now, there's a lot of winding back to do that. But how did you even find Stewart Title, or how did you get in this profession?
So I was looking to move to Houston. I had a friend whose father had an attorney friend at Stewart Title, and I gave him my resume. I interviewed with a couple of different offices. I had no experience, so I was lucky that I got hired in a builder unit, and I started, my first job was shooting copies. I did that for 2 days, and then they made me a funder, and I had no idea what I was doing. I was just rolling checks in because somebody told me to do it, and probably about 6 months in, I figured out, okay, this is what we're doing. We're closing on houses. We're handling people's funds, and just worked my way up to processor, to escrow officer, to managing an escrow unit, and then taking on multiple offices. So
and
one step after another.
As you're leading escrow officers and the team at our various offices, I think you have to be in tune to what people want, as Mike was saying, what customers want. But you have a great perspective to be able to see what's going on in terms of the mechanics. Because, again, I think the escrow process is somewhat mysterious to people. So you know what makes the escrow officers tick so they can help the clients with each and every transaction.
Well, and I pride myself on being able to physically sit down in an office and help them with whatever they need help with. In fact, when I leave here today, I'm going to go to an office in Richmond, Texas and fund a file because the person who funds the files is out of the office, and I can support them in that way. I don't have to do it often, but when I do, I can get my hands dirty and do the work.
We're talking with Jennifer Shemidas. She is Houston's division president right here for Stewart Title, and Mike Snyder. He is the sales manager for our Northern Houston division. Mike, before we close this segment, what else do you want people to know about Stewart Title or anything else?
Well, what I want people to know is Stewart is, Jennifer mentioned earlier, it's been in business 130 years, which, by the way,
that's amazing.
I think is pretty cool. As a native Texan joining a Texas company that's so significant and been around for 130 years, I think is kind of cool. But I just, people need to know that Stewart is a place where if I'm a real estate agent, I can walk into any one of our offices around town and feel proud that I can bring my clients there, whether they're buying or selling, whether it's a $30,000 lot, a $3 million home, or 300 acres, in prime development area. So people can feel really good and really proud about bringing their clients there because we feel proud about the offices. We feel proud about the company and the people that are managing those transactions for our clients. And I feel like in the short time I've been here, I sense that pride in our teams and our people and the way they handle their clients and our clients' clients.
And Jennifer, what else should we know?
Stewart's a great place to work. It's a great place to be. We're always looking for good people. So anyone who's interested in increasing their career or growing their career, they need to talk to people at Stewart Title. And
we have a website, stewart.com. Is that a good place to find that out? So let's tell people how they may reach you, Mike.
So I can be reached. My email is mike.snyder, which is SNYDER, @stewart.com, or by phone at 713-261-0472.
And Jennifer, what's the phone number?
Phone number is 832-419-7437.
Guys, thanks for being with us, and we'll hear from you again at the end of the show.
Thank you, Bill.
Good. Thanks for having us, Bill.
As we continue, let's talk to Brittany Burns. Her company is eXp Realty. Brittany, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome.
Well, we're just glad to have you because we've heard so much about you. You're doing tremendous things. So first of all, let's tell people about your company, eXp.
Yes, so I joined eXp in January of 2019. I was moved here from RE/MAX, and so I've been really thankful to have joined eXp right before the pandemic, and it was a really great move because they're a cloud-based brokerage, and so just really made sense and was a very not strategic move because we didn't know about the pandemic at the time, but just a really great move considering the world shut down shortly after that. But yeah, so I've been in business for 13 years as a real estate agent so far.
Well, as far as geographically, as people are listening, they may be thinking, I wonder what area Brittany covers as she helps buyers and sellers. What would that be?
So I'm based in the Clear Lake, League City area. I cover quite a bit of Houston area, but that's my primary location is Clear Lake area.
And right now, if someone's listening on the internet, certainly here in Houston, we know about Clear Lake, or at least most of us, but a lot of people have moved in recently. But if someone's listening from afar and they're wonder what Clear Lake is like, is it a lake? Is it what? Paint a picture for what this area and some of the drivers in the area.
Sure. So Clear Lake is southeast of Houston. It's in between Houston and Galveston, about halfway between. It's where NASA is based at and kind of literally centrally located around a lake. So we're Clear Lake is kind of the midpoint. And so it's going to be very coastal area, very just kind of laid back and kind of beachy vibes, boating activities, paddleboarding, that sort of thing.
So you're painting a very nice picture, Brittany, because I think with those elements, people could kind of, no matter where they're at, they could kind of see some of those things that are happening there. As far as real estate right now, how would you describe the market as you help buyers and sellers in the Clear Lake area?
Absolutely. So market trends down there right now are high inventory currently, as I think most of Houston is experiencing. Higher inventory for sure, more stable market, more leaning towards a buyer trends for sure right now with the higher interest rates at the time. We're going into summer market and things are starting to move a little bit more now. Spring market was a little bit more of a dud, not as great as we had expected with just economic uncertainty in the market and not as exciting as we were hoping, but summer is giving us a little bit more activity and interest, so it's a positive.
And at this point, are you helping more buyers or sellers?
It's probably about 50-50 right now. So I've probably got about 50-50 buyers and sellers under contract at the moment.
Do you feel good when it's a 50-50 split?
I do. Yeah, I do, because primarily my book of business for the last couple of years has been heavy sellers. But when it's a slow listing market, you really want to have a little bit more buyer activity during that time because listings just haven't been moving as quickly as they used to.
So keeping everything stirred up. As far as the type of price points that are in the area, is there, because it sounds like there's water, so a lot of people, when they think of that beachy vibe, as you described, they think, oh, I might want to go to Clear Lake so I could have a view of some kind of water.
Sure.
What are some of the price points if that's what someone's looking for?
Yeah, so there's really great school districts out there as well. So you're going to have a median price point of actually in the 350s for non-water view, non-waterfront. But if you want to be on the water, you're generally looking upwards of 850, 900,000.
So in the 350 range, you could not have the view, but you can have a nice home?
Yeah, a nice home within a good school district for sure.
So that's why all these people are moving to
That's
Houston.
exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
They were saying that there's like 200. I think the figure I heard was it's 200 a day. I don't know.
We still have a huge influx of people moving here. And I think that that's going to continue. And I think most people are just kind of still sitting on the fence right now, waiting to see what's going to happen with the interest rates and everything going on. But once things start going down with the rates, I do think people will get off the fence and start making moves again. And I think that's going to spike the home values again and kind of create that competitive situation that we had during the pandemic. And that's not going to be a really great situation for the people that have been sitting on the fence during this time, because they could get really great deals right now while things are kind of stagnant and not moving.
So when's a good time to buy?
Honestly, anytime's a good time to buy.
Right?
Now is a good time to buy. Anytime is a good time to buy, depending on what you're looking for, right? So like now is a great time to buy because while the rates are not ideal, now is a great time because you can get a really stellar deal because homes are sitting on the market.
And I would imagine being in the profession now 13 years or so, you're getting a lot of referrals and things like that. But you probably still use social media, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
And as you do, what are some of the platforms that you like, and what do you do with those platforms? Like, for example, I would imagine you use Facebook. And
I'm primarily on Instagram and Facebook. I do use TikTok a little bit, but not as active on there. I'm a millennial, so I'm kind of at the age group where we're dabbling in TikTok, but not quite as active on there, but trying to be. But yeah, I do use those, but primarily Instagram is where I'm most active.
And as for when you're not in the Clear Lake area, what other parts of Houston are you a lot?
I honestly go all over.
Everywhere.
It's kind of crazy, and people think I'm really insane for doing this. Like my listing appointment that I just came from was in Magnolia.
That isn't even near Clear Lake. So
it's nowhere near Clear Lake. But for referral-based clients, I'll go all over town, and because I want to be the one to take care of those people. So yeah, if I get personal referrals, I usually will be the one taking care of them, and I don't care that I have to drive. So.
Well, and I noticed this yesterday as I went a pretty good distance, but thanks to Beltway 8, I was surprised that I got to this particular place in like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it looks so far away, and then once I started the trip, boom. Our roads, of course, when they're not so busy, I think really help us get around.
Well, and not only that, but it's Houston. My mindset is kind of like anywhere you go is an hour. So, I mean, regardless of where you're driving an hour.
We're talking with Brittany Burns with eXp Realty. So what are some of the other things that you do from a marketing standpoint? If someone, let's say, has not been in the business 13 years, or you're advising someone that's just started 6 months, a year, what are some of the basic things that maybe one or two things that you would tell this person to say, hey, here's the things you need to do, at least these two things? What would that be?
Definitely building your brand, getting your name out there. Start building your brand from the beginning, not just building your brokerage brand. I mean, you really need to get your name out there individually, regardless of if you're on a team or whatever the case may be. And also collecting reviews. Those are the places that most people look. And if you have those built up reviews and that stack of good reviews, that's where people are going to judge based on what you have. Building your social media reviews, review count, those are going to be the most important things to make sure that you're getting yourself out there. And then just not being like secretive about being a real estate agent, because it's kind of embarrassing sometimes. I know I experienced that when I was a newer agent. Everybody knows a real estate agent. And so you don't want to be like too, oh, hey, I'm a real estate agent, like too advertising about it. But for me, just bringing value to people and not salesy, but just reminding people like, hey, yeah, I'm in real estate. Like, how can I help you? Is very important. And for me, I've gotten a lot of business from that, just offering value to people, not asking for the business, just giving them something of value.
Sounds like you have a Brittany Burns special technique to doing this, because it sounds a little tricky, because you're right. Everybody knows a realtor, or my brother-in-law is a realtor, or my sister,
Yeah.
right? You hear that. So it's always maneuvering a way to be distinctive and to be unique, but get to connect as well.
Right, definitely. Offering something of value and just being yourself, finding whatever makes you special.
And before being a realtor, what did you do before real estate?
Well, I got into real estate really young. I got my license at 21. So I didn't do a whole lot before getting into real estate. I was a waitress, and then I worked at a newspaper, and then I got my real estate license. So not too much of note. But I got my real estate license because I was a single mom and I needed a way to provide for my son. And so that was what got me into this business. I needed a flexible job that paid really well. And it's not the easiest business to jump into full time for sure. And I learned that really quickly, but it worked out well for me. So
yeah, I don't think there's anything easy about it, but there's a lot of rewarding
There's
things.
a lot of rewards. And flexibility was one thing I really wanted. But I will tell you, whenever you try to go for flexibility, you end up working 24/7 as well.
Yeah, I'm flexible all 24 hours.
Exactly. Yeah.
That sounds good to me. Brittany, before we close the segment, what else do you want people to know?
Yeah, I mean, just that I am always here for people's questions and anything that they, happen to need real estate wise. I definitely would love to help. I can be reached online, social media, Brittany Burns Realtor. I have a website, novagenrealty.com. My phone number is 281-245-5112. And my email is brittany@novagenrealty.com.
Phone number again is?
281-245-5112.
Brittany, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's talk to Andy Gordon. He is with Compass Real Estate in the Woodlands. Hey, Andy, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Bill. Appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Well, it's great to see you. You have a great name, too. People are already remembering your name right now, Andy Gordon. So easy.
Yeah, well, Flash Sells, that's where you can find me.
Like Flash
Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ran with that early. You can find me at hashtag Flash Sells on Instagram or Flash Tags on TikTok.
That's awesome. So, meanwhile, the Woodlands, people hear about the Woodlands far and wide, not just in Houston, but around the country. Give us an idea of what's happening in the Woodlands, real estate-wise.
Everything's happening in the Woodlands. Well-priced homes sell quick. overpriced houses sit. It's a destination. It's a lifestyle. You got lake living. You've got the mall. You've got Market Street. It's the quintessential small town America.
Say that again. Overpriced. That's a good quote. We've not heard that yet.
Good. Glad to bring some value. Overpriced houses sit and well-priced homes sell.
That's awesome. Socrates said that, I think.
Yes, there you go. Yeah.
So in the meanwhile, another thing, there's also a waterway in the Woodlands, because certainly people outside of Houston don't know with each suburb all the beauty that it has. But tell us about that waterway. That's a great place.
Waterway special. I mean, you've got nightlife, you've got shopping, you've got movies, fine dining, you've got patio life down the waterway. You can ride the boats, a little bit of everything.
Sounds good. And also, how far from Lake Conroe? Because we do have some lakes here in Houston.
Yeah, so the heart of the Woodlands is probably 20 minutes to Lake Conroe.
Put you on the north, there's forests, all sorts of things.
Absolutely.
And right now, as far as what you're doing, are you helping more buyers or more sellers?
Like the previous guest, Brittany, I do 50-50, pretty split business.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And what trends are you seeing in the Woodlands? What's happening up there right now?
I mean, again, back to price sells houses. Things that are well priced tend to move. I mean, just nice decorated places tend to attract more buyers and will get you a better price point.
As far as social media, what are some of the things that you're doing to further your brand?
Me personally, I like it raw. I don't do any editing. Tend to go off the cuff, live, and whatever comes out, and I tend to get a good reaction, good following. My kids like to make fun of me and tell me that nobody watches my videos, but I show them to them and
but the numbers don't lie,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
No doubt about it. But also, because I think for a variety of reasons now, Compass is well known, but also, as I said previously, the Woodlands is well known, not just in Houston. So that I'm thinking you're getting people from other states that seek out the Woodlands and thus find Compass and end up finding you, Andy.
Yeah, well, I'm at the end of that line, which is fine. Yeah, Compass is a nationwide, worldwide company. The Woodlands is well recognized worldwide. I'm always looking for business. I tend to cater to a smaller clientele. I run a real niche service type business, extremely service oriented, and it's the way I like my business.
Now, when you go outside, if you go outside of the Woodlands, what other areas do you end up going to?
So, I mean, I can service anywhere in the greater Houston area. I tend to specialize on where I feel most competent and able to serve the client. But to answer that, Magnolia, Montgomery, Conroe, Willis, into Porter, Kingwood, pretty wide geographic north of town.
And let's tell people about those areas because, again, Montgomery and Magnolia, not everybody knows about that. Even some people that live right here as we're in the center of the loop of Houston. What are some of the things that are the drivers say for Magnolia?
You got small town feel. It's great small town, still local people, local influence, and it's very family oriented, but it's got all the, richness of having the Woodlands super close by. It's in a, rich area of growth. There's lots of stuff happening in that Magnolia corridor.
And as far as if someone said they give you a call, and maybe they're, again, from another city, another state, and they find you, Andy Gordon, they say, hey, Andy, I got your number, I saw your face, whatever it is, and they said, hey, Andy, I'm looking for something with a little elbow room. Which one of those suburbs would you direct them to? Let's say I want an acre and I want a nice house with that acre. Where are you going to send them?
Well, I'm going to direct them to my neighborhood, Westwood, in the heart of Magnolia, Texas. It's a half acreage community, but very minimally restricted HOAs. People like to have boats. They like to have RVs, and that is allowed, right? So that's a big draw to the area in that neighborhood specifically because you can have your outdoor stuff and not be hassled by the HOA.
I think right now people, their ears are perking up because there's not many places. Well, the further out we go, maybe there are in terms of acreage. But I know there's a trend every now and then for someone to say, I want a little bit of elbow room.
Sure. Well, I mean, everybody likes a little space, and you get out in the country, and that's a great opportunity. I mean, you look into Montgomery and the two-step community being built. It's incredible. half acre to full acre lots and beyond. It's going to be an incredible opportunity with lots of growth and development happening out towards Montgomery in between Magnolia and Plantersville.
And back at the Woodlands, as far as the price points, it's an established area. What would say $500,000 get somebody if they wanted to live in the Woodlands in the nicest part possible with a $500,000 budget? Is that possible?
Sure, it's feasible. I mean, $500,000 will probably get you 2,400 square feet, 4-bedroom, single story, maybe a 2-story, 8,000 square foot lot. Nicely appointed, be a nice, comfortable place to live.
Let's say that another person has $750,000. Do the options open up?
Sure. I mean, it puts you into a different neighborhood, a little enclave of the Woodlands. Get a little more real estate and more square footage, nicer amenities in the area.
So people are still going to the Woodlands. They love the Woodlands. And as far as the resources, going back to Compass Real Estate, big company. I would imagine you have a lot of resources and you have meetings where you hear from other locations around the country. What are some of the things that you hear from Compass that you could tell us about that give us an idea of some real estate trends out there right now? What are they talking about, like at your last meeting, to get you excited about real estate?
I didn't go.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally didn't go.
I'm going to leave that in because
that's okay too. That's okay.
So. But they talk about that stuff, don't they?
Sure. I mean, yeah, market trends, local, nationally. I mean, all of that matters on a
that's
micro
classic,
level.
By the way, I didn't go. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of meetings I missed too.
The joys of being self-employed.
Well, that's true. But boy, they have resources, this Compass, right?
Yes, sir.
So as far as the rest of the year, we're at the halfway point, Andy. Here we are, Andy Gordon, halfway point. How do you see things unfold if you just go by a crystal ball and by your gut feeling?
No crystal ball, but the market's going to do what the market does. Houston is a great place to be. I mean, there's a lot of, a lot of life that happens here. There's medical, there's oil and gas. So people are always going to be buying and selling real estate in this market.
And if someone's in the Woodlands and they're living there and they say, oh, but I want to go downtown, it's not that far if someone wants to hit the uptown or downtown area. About how far is it without a lot of traffic?
45 minutes to an hour. Like Brittany said, I always tell clients we don't travel by distance, that we travel by time in the Houston area. Because everything's, 45 minutes to an hour.
Pretty much is.
So it could be the kids' school, it could be the grocery store.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. The schools. No matter what subdivision we say, people say, oh, that's because they have a great school. So I'm going to guess the Woodlands has great schools.
Of course. I mean, it's Conroe ISD, and it's funded with the same tax dollars as every other school, but there's great opportunity for the kids and the parents to be involved, and it's great to see.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the things I think about when I think of Montgomery, Magnolia, I don't know so much the Woodlands, but we want to tell people there are certain, again, I may be wrong, but there are certain areas there where the tax rate's a little bit lower than, say, the rest of Houston. Would that be true, Andy?
Absolutely. Case in point, the neighborhood that I live in, Westwood, we pay 1.98%.
Yeah, but 1.8 sounds a lot better than 3.2, where I've seen that.
Yeah, we all have. And I mean, you've seen a lot of that in new construction. These new communities bring extremely high tax rates.
Andy Gordon. Andy, let's tell people how they can reach you.
You can find me on Facebook at Your Veteran Realtor. You can find me on TikTok at Flash Sells. You can find me on Instagram at Flash Sells. And you can find me at 832-515-2978.
Again, the number is
832-515-2978.
And you're a veteran?
Your Veteran Realtor.
And what branch of the service?
Army.
There you go. Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
On behalf of all of us at Stewart Title, Stewart Insurance, and any veteran listening, we appreciate your service. And thank you, Andy Gordon.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is once again from Stewart Insurance, John Bramlett. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. Always a pleasure.
Well, here we have great Stewart associates in management today that you've invited. What a brilliant move on your part.
Well, it's always nice to see Jennifer and then to have Mike join the team. That's fantastic.
A dynamic duo.
They are.
No doubt about it. Well, John, people...
And just so you know, Mike is also a graduate of that fine institution in College Station, Texas.
Really?
Yes, he is.
Well, I knew there was something special about him.
Well, I'm sure that's why he was hired.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole network of people recognition of the Texas A&M graduates because they are awesome indeed.
Yes, they are. The Aggie Network.
And people await every week, John, for golden words about insurance. So here you are.
Well, today I'd like to just kind of remind our listeners again of some of the ways that we can support their families and their businesses. One of the programs that we've established over the last maybe half year is providing insurance policy assessments for our clients, whether it be a business or a family or an individual. So at no cost to them, being able to go in and take a look at whatever coverages that you may have and see if they meet the objectives and needs that your business or your family has at this point in its life. And there are going to be times when we see really great policies and they're very solid, and we'll let the clients know that. And there'll be times when we may see a little bit of a gap. We worked with an attorney recently that on her errors and omissions coverage, and it was a good policy, but it wasn't specific to her business because most of her business was in and around real estate. So there was some a vagueness to the policy that could have been an issue. So we were able to place her in a different type of coverage where it's very specific in and around real estate. So we were able to help her that. And then there's sometimes we see some fairly significant gaps, and if that's the case, we'll share that with our clients or the families that we're working with as well.
And of course, the key for individuals and companies is to be properly insured.
It truly is. It's just, what is important for you at this point in your life, or what's important for your business at this point in its life. So it can be a very robust policy. It can be a very conservative policy, but it's understanding what coverages you feel like you need, how risk averse you are, and then understanding what you do and don't have. And as long as you're comfortable with that, then as you said, that's what we call indicate that people are properly insured.
And that's so great because we talk about it every week. And I'm going to guess before we got on the airwaves talking about insurance, I bet people never really put it into those two words that really sum up the goal for all of us.
Well, I think it is, and it goes along with our culture that we want to make sure that when something bad happens, and it's going to happen to us at some point, that we can get back to normal as quickly as possible, and that we do want to be the insurance resource for real estate. So part of the way that we can do that is by making sure that people understand the coverages that they have, understand the options that they have, and then allow them to make a valid and smart decision. So we want people to have that VIP experience. We want them to have that jaw-dropping experience. So when they're done, they felt like that we're the only folks that they were dealing with. They felt like that they were empowered to make smart decisions, and they come away saying, wow, that was insurance? That was really a great experience. So that's where we strive to do every day, and that's ultimately what properly insured will occur.
And it goes back to the beginning of the show as we talked about how important people are. And at Stewart Insurance, the associates there are incredible because to get the experience you're describing happens because we have longevity on the team. We have a passion to exceed expectation at each and every turn. That's what's happening. And we're going to give the phone number here in a minute or two, but all they have to do is call that number to get the experience of Stewart Insurance.
Well, Mike mentioned it earlier about this idea of being subject matter experts. and we really push our team to be subject matter experts. So you're reading new policies when they're coming up and understanding what's happening within the industry and how things are changing in a marketplace. So that's really critical because, being able to provide that type of guidance for our clients is key. So that's why we have insurance advisors versus insurance agents. And that's why we write and build plans versus selling policies. That's why we deal with clients and not customers. So it's very much a part of our DNA to provide that type of service.
Well, John, here we are again, the halfway point of the year, and I know you have meetings at Stewart Insurance on a regular basis, and these are team-building meetings or meetings where you share information, what's coming around the corner and things like that. Can you give us an idea of some of the things that the team at Stewart Insurance are excited about?
Well, I don't know if I would use excited. I think that we're not going to see on the personal line side any significant drop in premiums, more than likely. I guess there is the one area of excitement is we have seen one of the larger clients, or one of the larger companies that writes home and auto, that for a while did not have an appetite for Houston. That appetite has come back. And they've made the commitment that they will not be raising premiums in this year for the Houston market for auto and home. And then they're hoping to trend some of the increases in the renewals down so that won't be so tight. They're using some really unique technology to evaluate roofs. So there should be areas of the city where maybe we couldn't write before because they just declined it. Now they'll be willing to quote and write those roofs. And those that they would write, we might be able to get more beneficial premium. So I think the exciting thing is that we're seeing some of the insurance companies be a little more creative. We're starting to see some companies come back into the market. So we're excited about that. On the business side, we've got some partners that we're working with now that have some really interesting terms on the cyber side, some really interesting coverage capabilities on the cyber side, as well as some additional partners on errors and omissions that we're able to write. So we're excited about having those new partnerships.
John, and you mentioned the word roof. I have never been personally so roof-centric as we have had our real estate professionals here on the show. They talk about roofs. I find myself, for no good reason, looking at roofs on people's houses, and say, that person needs a new roof. What's going to happen when they get their insurance renewal? All these sorts of things. Roofs have been so important, especially the last couple of years.
Well, they are, and that's why it's important to have a good insurance advisor that you work with. So as you work through the life of your home policy, that we can talk about things that are important, things that are going to be considered. What are the elements that are in your neighborhood, because it's getting that granular, that are going to be important in the evaluation of what the premium might be, or even if coverage is available.
Well, John, what else should we know?
Well, if you would like to be properly insured, we would love to have that conversation. And that can be for a family and individual. It could be their home, wind, auto, flood, watercraft, motorcycle, investment property. And we can help with that. And you can reach us at 866-798-2827. For our business clients, real estate brokers, realtors, independent title and attorney agents, property management firms, we can help with your errors and omissions, cyber liability, general liability, business owners policies, commercial property, commercial auto, workers' comp. And you can reach us at 866-798-2827. And I guess as Jennifer had mentioned, we're also looking for good people as well. So we've got a couple of opportunities for folks that if they have an interest in insurance or would like to have an interest in insurance or are in the industry and have a passion for it, we would love to visit with you.
What number should they call?
They should call the career hiring hotline at 866-798-2827.
And John, I understand you also have a Texas A&M graduate hotline.
Actually, Bill, it's the Texas A&M former student hotline, and that's 866-798-2827.
John, thanks for being with us.
Always a pleasure, Bill.
As we continue, we talk about the great people that are there, here and there to serve you at Stewart Title, not just in Houston, but even beyond. And from time to time, if you're a regular listener, you will hear from our business development people. But here is Hope Moy, developing business in a tremendous way up there in Magnolia and Conroe. Hope, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill. Good to see you.
Well, here you are. So things, I understand the construction is getting better when they want to go to the office there in Magnolia, right?
Yes, on 1488.
So
it's getting much
sailing.
better. Not yet. Not smooth sailing
quite
yet, but we are so close. We are so close.
Well, give us an idea. What are some of the things we should know about your two offices right now?
So my offices are Magnolia and Conroe. My Magnolia office is off of 1488 and 2978, and I have two fantastic escrow officers there, Kelly Ernst and Courtney Minga. And in Conroe, we have 3 escrow officers there as well. And
those are growing like crazy, though, right?
Yes.
When we talk about Conroe, I know people that used to live kind of near the center of the city. They bought places in Conroe. What's the attraction you think there in Conroe?
Conroe is great lake life. There's Margaritaville, there's Lake Conroe, there's space. And so I believe people really come from Houston and surrounding areas just to get a little bit of air, so to speak.
Well, Hope, what else should we know?
Give me a call. I'm here to support you. I'm here to add value to what you do as real estate agents and all realtor industry folks out there. We're happy to help you. We'd love to see you in our offices and give us a shot on your next contract.
The phone number is?
My number is 346-224-1908. 346-224-1908.
Hope, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Bill. It's good to see you.
So as we continue, we are going to go back and talk with Jennifer Shamitis and Mike Snyder. Jennifer, let's remind people, your role at Stewart Title is?
I'm division president over the North Houston territory.
And it's going to be exciting to see as things change and the markets are moving in so many different directions, what's going to happen here between now and the end of the year. I know you're excited, and so is the team, right?
I'm so excited. It was nice driving around this weekend and seeing open house signs all over the place. It feels like we're going into a busy summer, so I'm very excited about that.
I think you're right, because in my neighborhood, in the Green Trails, Katy area, I'm seeing more open house signs than ever before. Mike, before we close the show here, give us an idea in your role as sales manager for North Houston, which is gigantic. And in northern states, that might be Rhode Island or Connecticut, but North Houston is a country all its own. Give us an idea of some of the things we should know.
Well, Bill, our clients and our prospects they're primarily real estate agents, and those agents are choosing Stewart when they're not getting the service that they want from their current title company. They're choosing us when they want to make sure that their clients and their transactions are in good hands, and they're choosing us when they want a partner in their business, a partner that provides value and helps them with their business. And I think if you haven't taken a look at Stewart in a while, you should, because those are the things that we are doing in every Stewart office across the city.
And, of course, reminding people, too, what it means. We're over 130 years old, and that's great to say, bragging rights and so forth. But what that does for someone that closes at Stewart Title is that should there be a situation down the road, maybe it's 5 years, 10 years, there's a real good chance we're going to be around in the next 20, 50 years. Right, Jennifer?
Right. It's definitely a great time to be at Stewart. We're always looking to grow. That's what we're working on right now. So if you're an escrow officer who wants to advance a career, call me. If you're a competitor who doesn't think they want to make a move, still call me. I'd love to get to know my competitors. I love to get to expand my network. So I'm always available to meet.
No doubt about it. There's some great people, not just on the Stewart team, but the people out there that aren't on the team yet that might be someday, right, Mike?
That's right. A lot of the people we have on our teams did work at another title company. Same as a lot of the agents we work with did work with a different title company, and so we are open to both. And
Jennifer, let's tell them the number where they can reach you.
My number is 832-419-7437. 832-419-7437.
And Mike, how can people reach you?
My number is 713-261-0472. 713-261-0472.
Hey, I just thought of something, guys. It might be a nice idea. Max Van Natter. That guy's pretty incredible, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He's a regular listener of the show, I'm told, too.
Oh, yeah, he is. So, and Max is great. I love working for Max, one of the finest people in the if he is listening.
That's right. Well, we
even
say
if he's
hi.
not.
Yeah, even if he's not, we're still saying, hey, Max, we appreciate you, and thank you guys for being with us. And now, she is back. Thanks. Here is Brittany Burns with eXp Realty. Hey, Brittany, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much.
Well, as we wind down, give us a quick word. What else do you want people to know?
Well, I just want everyone to know that I am always here for their real estate needs, whether it's buying, selling, or leasing. And I have over 10 real estate designations. And you can reach me at 281-245-5112. Again, that's 281-245-5112.
Well, I'm going to add, I don't know what all those 10 designations are, but I'm going to add one, and that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yes. Brittany, give us the phone number one more time.
281-245-5112.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Andy Gordon. You know, Andy, here we are, landing the plane. It's the end of the show, you and me. So what else do you want people to know, Andy?
Well, I'm always looking for new business. I appreciate all my past clients and appreciate the opportunity to take care of them. You can find me at 832-515-2978, 832-515-2978.
And you know, you mentioned Flash Gordon. So for some of the people that were around when that triggered some memories for Flash Gordon fans.
Well, I wasn't around, so I just carried the lineage. But my dad used to sing the theme song, but I don't know it.
No doubt. Well, there was also with Batman, Commissioner Gordon was a big character as well.
Him too. No relation.
Andy, once again, the phone number is
832-515-2978.
That's Andy Gordon with Compass. Thanks, Andy, for being with us, and thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik, together with John Bramlett and all of us at Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance. We appreciate you listening. Don't forget to check out the shows, the show archives. You can access any of the shows, almost all of the 564 shows at stewart.com/radio. That's stewart.com/radio. We will see you next week. Thanks for listening.
Overpriced houses sit and well-priced homes sell. Overpriced houses sit and well-priced homes sell.